Hello students, this is part 3 of chapter 6 Learning Class 11 Psychology. Today we are going to talk about key learning processes and observational learning. Let's first start with key learning processes. When any type of learning takes place, be it simple or complex, classical conditioning or operant conditioning, or any other type of learning, it involves occurrence of certain processes, and these processes include reinforcement, extinction, generalization, discrimination, and spontaneous recovery. By now, concepts of classical conditioning and operant conditioning and the related experiments must be clear to you. We have already covered same in part 1 and part 2. We will be talking about them again while explaining these learning processes. Let's first start with reinforcement. Reinforcement is the operation of administering reinforcers. Reinforcers, they increase behavior. Reinforcers can be primary and secondary reinforcers. Also, reinforcers can be positive or negative. Let's first talk about primary and secondary reinforcers. Primary reinforcers are innately reinforcing, those that satisfy our biological needs such as food, water, and secondary reinforcers, they are learned by repeated pairings with primary reinforcers. They are also called conditioned reinforcers. For a person who is hungry, food will be primary reinforcer and money a secondary reinforcer because he has learned that it can be exchanged for food or that can help him to buy food for him. Other types are positive reinforcers and negative reinforcers. Positive reinforcers, they increase the frequency of behavior. In this, a person receives what he likes or wants following the behavior. Keywords are likes and wants. So if you give something that the person does not like, it will not act as a reinforcer. Liking of a receiver is of utmost importance. In a class, there are many children. Some like to get stars, others they like verbal appreciation, and many others they like to get chocolates and toffees. Negative reinforcers, they increase the frequency of behavior when they are removed. In this, something unwanted stops happening or is removed following the behavior. Taking medicine for headache, it takes away the pain and one gets relief. This will function and further increase the behavior of taking that medicine again when next time person has headache. Another key process that is involved in learning is extinction. Extinction actually means disappearance of a learned response because of the removal of reinforcement from the situation. In classical conditioning, extinction occurs when unconditioned stimulus does not follow a conditioned stimulus. Conditioned stimulus in classical conditioning was bell. So if that is not followed by food, that is the unconditioned stimulus, extinction occurs and that diminishes the conditioned response. Also similar happens in operant conditioning. When a response is no longer reinforced, extinction occurs. Pressing of a lever by rat, if not followed by food pellet or it is reinforced, it will diminish the learned response and extinction occurs. Other key processes are generalization and discrimination. Generalization is the tendency to respond in the same way to stimuli that have similar characteristics. When you hear the ringtone that is similar to your mobile, you respond thinking that it is yours. Likewise, a rat who receives food by pressing one lever may press the second lever in the hope that he will get the food. Another example can be a small boy pats two different dogs and both dogs they wag their tails. So the boy assumes that all dogs are friendly. So this is an example of generalization. Discrimination, on the other hand, is the act of responding differently to stimuli that are not similar to each other. It is like learning that behavior will be rewarded in one situation but it will not be rewarded in another situation. Example of this can be the rat does not receive food from the second lever and realizes and discriminate that by pressing the first lever only he will get the food. Another key process involved in learning is spontaneous recovery. It shows reappearance of an extinguished conditioned response after some time has passed, that is, after a resting period. Sometimes classically conditioned behavior reappears. It is like old feelings come back for no reason. Pavlov noted in his experiment that after a substantial time had passed, the conditioned response would easily recover if the neutral stimulus and unconditioned stimulus were paired again. Let's now move on to the next topic, and that is observational learning. As the name suggests, it is learning through observation. We learn so many things from our environment, from our interactions with others. Some experiences are reinforced while others are not. When you make mistakes and you are punished for wrong acts, you also learn that not to repeat them. But if you pay little more attention, you will realize that our entire learning is not dependent on reinforcement and punishment only. We learn so many different things from watching behaviors of others. We learn good habits, helping behavior, and many more things from watching others. Let's take a very common example. You try to copy latest fashion trends, act like the person you admire most, behave like others. At times you are conscious of it, and at other time you are not even aware of that, and you pick up things consciously or unconsciously. Learning by watching others. Albert Bandura, he was the first one who proposed social learning theory, and he has given utmost importance to observational learning. In observational learning, you pay attention that you consider important, is of interest to you, and is displayed by the person you like most, that is your idol. Then you retain that behavior and try to imitate it. And when you do that, your friends and family, they praise you, give you compliments, so it acts as a reinforcement for you. We can say that observation learning is retaining and replicating of the behavior that is observed in others. It is also called social learning. It can be pro-social, positive or constructive, or it can be antisocial. It is learning by observing and emulating the behavior and actions of others. It is also sometimes called modeling. Here in this type of learning, there are some assumptions that the person chooses his or her own model. Sometimes this learning is internal. You may or may not display it in behavior. Because of this, others may not be aware that the learning has occurred. In classical conditioning and operant conditioning, the behavior that is learned by dog and rat, it was very much evident and it was very much visible. In observational learning, a person may have learnt a particular behavior but only displays it when the situation arises. Now you all are aware that how learning can occur by watching others. So we all must be very careful of the behavior we display in front of others, because others can also pick up our habits and manners. Children, by nature, they are so observant. So one has to be very careful when they are in the company of children. During playtime, children, they imitate like their parents or teachers. They can easily pick up good or bad habits, and they naturally mimic adults' behavior. Bandura did an experiment on Bobo doll, and he was very famous for that Bobo doll study. Let's now try to understand the experiment performed by Bandura. Bandura showed a film of 5 minutes duration to the children. The film shows that there is a large room filled with numerous toys and a Bobo doll, a doll that is an inflated balloon type. It is a toy that when kicked or punched, it falls off and comes back to the upright original position. In this film, a grown-up boy enters that toy room and starts showing aggressive behavior towards toys and Bobo doll in particular. He repeatedly threw it down, punched it, kicked it, flung it in the air and sat on it and beat it with fist. After this, the film had three versions. In first version, children saw the model being rewarded by the second adult. In second version, children saw a second adult stopping and scolding the model for his aggressive behavior. In the third version, the model was neither punished nor rewarded. It was found that children having seen aggressive behavior rewarded the most aggressive. Also, those who saw the model being punished were least aggressive. It was noted that all these groups have acquired the knowledge of aggressive behavior and could produce the model's aggressive behavior. So, it is worth mentioning here that behavior that is observed and the outcome of that further. It encourages or discourages others to imitate that. Even in your daily life, if you watch others and the results of their action, that will help you to make a decision to act or not to act like them. Example of this can be, if you see a man touching a button and getting a shock, you will not repeat the same. So today in this part 3 of chapter 6, learning, you learnt about the key processes involved in learning and the observational learning. I hope you will find this useful. Thanks for watching.